Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Well, last week I spoke about the five qualities that I felt are intrinsic to being a great leader or a good leader. Um, and I started telling a story at the beginning. I didn't really get very far with it because obviously I moved on with the topic. But as it's a Wednesday, and I said I would start doing stuff that was more kind of maybe slightly more light-hearted on a Wednesday. I figured I'd share the rest of the story with you because it's a story that had something come out of it that is that I've always been entertained by. It's always good to be entertained by yourself, and and hopefully you'll find it at least moderately entertaining. If not, just go, "What the fuck are you talking about, Seb?" But ultimately, I said at the beginning of the last video, of the video last week rather, that ultimately I was doing my management qualifications through the company that I was working for, and I was on a course day, and we got asked what the qualities of a great leader were, and so we came up with them, and then afterwards I know I understand why this was done, but at the same time it displayed a lot of things to me. But ultimately we were told or asked to please in pairs, just with the person that was sat next to us, um, draw a creature that had all of the qualities that we had listed as being really um, what a leader should be. And first off, I think it demonstrated a distinct lack of imagination on the part of some of the other people I was on the course with, because of course you had things like a lion, tiger, elephant, big dominant creatures, but all very mundane. They actually exist, they're real. And I, of course, being me, took a slightly different tack, let's say, and I went with instead just randomly creating a monster out of my own imagination, which the person that was working with me found hilarious, um, and he quite enjoyed it, and he seemed to just happily go along with what I was saying, but so that's kind of where this came from, and what we came up with was this guy, who will now hopefully appear here if everything that I've been doing this morning has worked. And ultimately, we called him Bertie, and he has all of the traits that we were talking about last week, all the five. And yeah, this caused a lot of discussion and debate, and demonstrated that possibly I've got too much imagination for my own good sometimes. But at the same time, um, I felt like it makes another valid point, and that is that you cannot expect perfection from anything or anyone that is real. A great leader may be a great leader, but they are not going to be a great leader all the time, regardless of how well they embody the qualities that we discussed last week. And so I made a point of saying this, and it was fairly well received. However, I got bored last week after making that video, and as a result, you now have this new version of Bertie. And I'll just quickly run through it and take a look at the composite parts, as it were. As some of you are probably looking at me going, Seb, that's a turtle with wings, with lots of little turtles with wings, amongst other things. What the fuck are you talking about? And so I'll explain it, because this is fun. And so we'll go through it in the way that I kind of went through it before. Communication. He's got both a loudhailer and a radar dish on his back, which is of course important. It's important to receive as well as to send out, and so he's got communication down on levels that you and I can barely comprehend or barely match up to. The whole decisive thing, I couldn't, when I was drawing it initially on that training day, I couldn't come up with something that signified decisive, apart from I gave him a little medal which said I am number one. As in first one to do something, first one to make the decision, move forward, whatever. Person to reach the conclusion fastest, who knows. And I couldn't find a medal of any decent sort that would actually fit into the image, and so I gave him a little cap instead. At which point then, resilient, well, I challenge anyone to punch a shell, especially one of a large turtle. I'd imagine it's quite painful. They seem quite sturdy and solid. So that's the resilience down. And then the adaptability, Bertie can fly, he can swim, he can flap around on land, maybe not as effectively as he could do, but you know, he can move throughout varied environments at varying temperatures and do whatever he needs to do to get the job done. He's an adaptable individual, is Bertie. And then leading by example, as you can see, he's got little Berties, lots of little Berties. They're just following him around, doing their thing, and being budding, awesome leaders of the future. And I now realise how insane I sound, and it's absolutely fine because Bertie's wonderful. And he has stayed with me for all of the 4, 5, 4, 3, however many years it was since I did that course day. I think it was something like 3.5. No, it's probably longer than that. It is probably about 4 now, 4 or 5. Yeah, he stayed with me a while, and he's always been a thing that I've been able to look back at and smirk at and go, do you know what, that's actually alright, I quite enjoyed that, that's fun. So, and as I said, it gets the point across. He's an example that we should all attempt to live up to. Anyway, I've got a bit of a headache, so I'm going to stop being so enthusiastic all of a sudden. It's obviously not good for my health. And yeah, if you found Bertie at all interesting, if you found the story at all interesting, if you've got any questions about why I did this, then please feel free to drop me a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll try and get back to you. But otherwise, have a great day and take care.